Imagine this for a moment. What if the version of yourself you're most afraid of becoming is actually the real you waiting to be discovered? Not the polite version of you that smiles when expected. Not the version that says the right things, behaves correctly, and tries so hard to fit into everyone else's expectations. I'm talking about the deeper version of you, the one you've been hiding for years, the one that felt too emotional, too intense, too ambitious, too different. The one you slowly pushed away because someone once made you believe it was wrong. Think about your life for a second. From childhood, you were taught how to behave. You were praised when you were quiet, obedient, and agreeable. And whenever you showed anger, boldness, or independence, someone probably told you to calm down, behave properly, or stop being difficult. Little by little, you learned something powerful but dangerous, that some parts of you were acceptable, and some parts of you were not. So what did you do? You adapted. You started building a version of yourself that the world would approve of, a version that looked successful, responsible, and normal. And over time, that version slowly became your identity. But deep down, somewhere inside, there's still a quiet voice asking a question that many people are afraid to hear. Is this really who I am? Psychologist Carl Jung believed that most of our inner suffering doesn't come from pain or failure. It comes from rejecting parts of ourselves. The pieces of our personality that we were told were wrong or dangerous didn't disappear. They simply moved into the background of our mind, into what Jung called the shadow. And here's the strange thing. Those hidden parts of you don't just vanish. They stay there, influencing your decisions, emotions, and behaviors without you even realizing it. Sometimes they appear as unexplained anger, sometimes as jealousy, sometimes as anxiety, or a feeling that something in your life just isn't right. It's like there's a version of you living behind the scenes, quietly shaping your life. Now here's where things get interesting. Most people spend their entire lives trying to avoid this shadow. They distract themselves with work, entertainment, social media, anything that helps them avoid looking inward. Because facing that hidden side of yourself can feel uncomfortable, it can feel scary, but avoiding it comes with a cost. When you hide parts of yourself for too long, you start to feel disconnected from who you really are. You say yes when you want to say no. You smile when you feel angry. You stay quiet when something inside you wants to speak. Slowly, life starts to feel like a performance instead of something real. But here's the truth. Most people never realize. Those parts of you that you rejected might actually be the source of your strength. Your anger might be telling you where your boundaries are. Your ambition might be the drive that pushes you to create something meaningful. Your emotions might be the reason you connect deeply with others. The qualities you were taught to suppress could actually be the keys to becoming whole. And if what I'm saying is resonating with you right now, take a quick moment to like this video and subscribe to the channel. It really helps the channel grow, and it allows more people to discover ideas that might completely change the way they see themselves. Now, let's continue. Facing your shadow doesn't mean becoming reckless or destructive. It doesn't mean letting every impulse control you. What it really means is becoming aware. It means looking honestly at the parts of yourself you usually try to ignore. For example, think about the traits in other people that annoy you the most. Maybe arrogance, maybe selfishness, maybe laziness. Jung believed that the things that trigger us the most in others often reflect something we've rejected inside ourselves. That doesn't mean you are exactly the same as those people. but it means there may be a hidden piece of that energy inside you that you've never accepted. And once you become aware of that, something powerful happens. Instead of fighting yourself internally, you begin to understand yourself. Instead of judging those parts of you, you learn to manage them consciously. This process is what Jung called individuation, the journey of becoming a complete human being. Not a perfect one, not a socially approved version, but a real one. And here's the honest part that many people don't talk about. This journey is not always comfortable. In fact, it can feel messy at times. When you start becoming more authentic, some people may not understand you anymore. People who were used to the old version of you might feel uncomfortable when you begin to speak your truth. You might stop pretending to agree with things that don't feel right. You might start setting boundaries where you never did before. And suddenly, people may say things like, "You've changed." But the truth is, you didn't become someone new. You simply stopped hiding. Another sign that you're moving closer to your authentic self is that you start feeling more alive. Your emotions become stronger. Your thoughts become clearer. You stop living only according to what you should do and start asking what actually feels meaningful to you. Life becomes less about pleasing everyone around you and more about understanding yourself. And the funny thing is, once you start living this way, something surprising happens. You attract different kinds of relationships. The shallow connections that were based on pretending slowly fade away, and the deeper, more genuine connections start to grow. Because authenticity is powerful. When people sense that you're being real, it gives them permission to be real too. Of course, this doesn't mean life suddenly becomes perfect. You'll still make mistakes. You'll still face doubts. But there's one big difference. You'll no longer feel like you're betraying yourself just to be accepted. You'll start living with a sense of alignment, a sense that your inner world and outer life are finally moving in the same direction. And maybe that's the biggest transformation of all. Because the goal isn't to become flawless. The goal is to become whole, to accept the light and the darkness inside you, to understand that your fears, your anger, your passion, your creativity, all of it is part of what makes you human. So let me leave you with a question. What is one part of yourself that you've been afraid to accept? Maybe it's your ambition. Maybe it's your sensitivity. Maybe it's a dream you've been too scared to pursue. Whatever it is, that hidden part of you might not be your weakness. It might be the beginning of your freedom.